Welcome to the Z.ai Daily Briefing for Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. The big story today is that the AI stack keeps collapsing vertically. Anthropic is reportedly doing two things at once: hiring a custom chip design team and signing a massive $10 billion cloud deal with startup provider Volta. Put those together, and the signal is pretty clear. Frontier Labs no longer want to be just model companies renting generic compute. They want co-design across training, inference, networking, memory hierarchy, and deployment footprint. That matters because we're moving into the phase where model quality gains are increasingly constrained by systems questions, not just pre-training scale. If you can shape the interconnect, memory bandwidth, quantization path, and compiler stack around your own inference patterns, you can lower serving cost or unlock larger effective context and agent loops at the same budget. Anthropic joining the custom silicon club doesn't mean it will suddenly rival NVIDIA in general-purpose AI chips. It means labs think the next durable moat is not just intelligence, but efficient intelligence. Next up, the infrastructure bottleneck is getting more concrete. Texas has effectively paused or slowed new data center grid connections pending audits. This is one of those stories that sounds regional, but is actually industry-wide. For the last 2 years, everyone treated power as something you solved after the financing and the GPU order. Now, it's becoming a gating dependency. The important nuance is that this is not only about total megawatts. It's about dispatchability, transmission constraints, and whether proposed AI loads are realistic in their ramp assumptions. A cluster that wants to swing hard at peak hours is a very different grid citizen than one paired with storage or load shaping. So when Texas says audit first, it's signaling that speculative AI campus announcements are colliding with actual grid engineering. Expect this to push more serious operators toward behind-the-meter generation, batteries, modular builds, and regions with faster interconnection processes. The days of assuming cheap land plus loose regulation equals instant AI capacity are ending. On the market side, AMD continues to validate that accelerator demand is broad, not singular. Its data center revenue hit $6.7 billion, more than doubling year over year. That's significant less because it threatens NVIDIA tomorrow, and more because it confirms the market is now big enough to support meaningful second-source economics. For enterprise architects, the takeaway is practical. Procurement teams increasingly want leverage, and platform teams want optionality. AMD's continued growth gives hyperscalers and large buyers more confidence to invest in software portability, mixed fleet scheduling, and model-serving layers that aren't tied to one kernel stack forever. We're still far from true plug-and-play interchangeability across accelerators, but the business pressure to get there is rising fast. Worth flagging on the governance front. A new SaferAI analysis says open-weight models are getting very close to frontier capability, with Z.ai's GLM 5.2 called out as approaching that tier while lacking equivalent safety mitigations. This is the real open models debate in one sentence. Capability diffusion is happening faster than safety diffusion. The technical implication is not just misuse risk in the abstract. Once strong open weights are broadly available, they become substrates for fine-tuning, agent scaffolds, coding assistance, autonomous cyber workflows, and domain-specific wrappers that may remove what little friction existed in the base release. Closed labs can gate APIs, rate limit dangerous use, and revoke access. Open weights move the control point downstream to hosting providers, enterprises, and integrators. If the model quality gap keeps narrowing, policy that only targets closed frontier labs will look increasingly misaligned with where real capability is being deployed. Now, to the research thread that deserves more attention. Test time scaling is finally getting more rigor. One new paper makes the obvious but often ignored point that more inference compute hides multiple different regimes. What to watch from here? whether custom silicon efforts at the labs translate into visible inference cost advantages, whether power constraints start reshaping data center geography faster than chip roadmaps do, and whether test time scaling matures from benchmark theater into a disciplined serving strategy. Also keep an eye on open weight safety, because capability is spreading faster than the industry's control mechanisms. That's your briefing. We'll see you tomorrow.